video we will talk about HTML forms. So for any web page, for sure we have to take the input from the user. So for that we need a form. That could be a login form, a registration form, or a student applying for any kind of job. So obviously he's going to provide his details. So that could be a student application form or a job application form. For sure we will have a requirement of creating forms in the web pages. So in this video we will see all of that. So to get started, let's go back to our index.html. So here we have got this register page. As part of this register page, I would like to take few details from the user for registration. So let's get into register.html. So I'll have a h2 and I'll call this as register form. Okay, let me remove this h1 here. We don't need this anymore. Let me open this register.html with the live server. Here is our register form. So what I'm going to do quickly is I'm going to talk about the tag that we're going to use. To create HTML form, we are going to use a tag called form tag. So as I've told you, HTML is all about tags. So if you know tags, then working with HTML is very easy. So form. Now, if you see any kind of form, let's go to Facebook. You see this is a form, and in this form, the web page is asking the user to enter the email ID and password. So the user will enter the email ID and password and he clicks on a button here. Now these fields basically expecting the text to be entered. Hence we call them as text field. Okay. These fields are expecting the text to be entered. Hence we call them as text fields over here. So let's go and create the text fields. So to create a text field, we'll use input type equals to text, and I'm going to use a placeholder. Placeholder is an attribute which will help us to provide some additional information to the user. If you see here, email or email address or phone number is the placeholder over here. So placeholder, enter username. Let's see how it is showing up on the UI. Let's go back to our web page, click on register, and here we go, enter username. So I want to have a different size for it. So I'm going to use size of, I expect a maximum characters of 40. So I want to increase the size to 40. So here we go. Now the user can enter the username here. I'm just entering some text over here. Great. The next step is I want to create the password field. So you have to use the input field. Okay, let me write it instead of copy pasting. So input is the element that you need to write. So input type equals to password. So make sure you specify password so that whatever the data that is entered by the user, that will be masked. So input type equals to password, and we'll have a placeholder calling it enter password. Okay, so input type equals to password and input type equals to text for the username. So for this also I'm going to set the size. So let's have the size to be 40. Let's see how it shows up, and this is how it is showing up. But I want this password should come after username. I don't want them side by side. So I can use a break here. Let's move this. Yeah, I can use a break here, and let's see how it shows up. But again, I want to have one more space between these two fields. I'll add one more break. So BR tag is used to break that particular line. So here we go. This looks better. I also want to ask the user to enter the email ID. So we can use input type to be email now. So enter email ID. So you can specify whatever the size that you want. And again, we'll use couple of breaks here. So here we go. So enter username, enter password, and enter email ID. Along with this, I would like to focus more on different fields that we have got. So we will make this registration form a little more bigger. So I'll add few more fields here. The next field I would like to add is description about the technologies that this particular user know. Okay, so I can use text area. Okay, as part of this text area, basically how does your text area look like is it will allow you to write multiple lines. So here we go, these are the multiple lines. I can write multiple lines here. Okay, to demonstrate you all the fields, right now I am using this particular page for creating multiple fields of the form. But anyways, for the e-commerce application that we want to implement, we will just take username, password, email ID and mobile number. Okay, so if you think that you want this text area to be much more bigger, then you can define the sizes. So how many rows I want 30 rows. How many columns I want 10 columns. Okay, you see this is how it is, but it's looking awkward. So I want 10 rows and 40 columns. Okay, I want just only 5 rows and 30 columns. Sorry, 5 rows and 40 columns. Okay, this looks better. So I just want to have a placeholder and say that enter details of your technical skills. Okay, so we should be getting the placeholder over here. Yeah, here we go. Okay, and you can have a self-closing tag for this. Just what the self-closing tag, but yeah, I think self-closing tag is not working here. We'll close it this way. Okay, fine. I can enter multiple details over here. I'm just writing some random text. Cool. Along with this text area, next I'll have a couple of breaks. We would like to ask the gender, so that's where I'm going to use radio buttons. So to create radio button, input type equals to radio. And then you can also have what is that you're looking for here. So basically I'm looking for gender here. So ideally what you can do is you can create some labels. Okay, but right now here I'll just specify male and I'll have input type radio, female, input type equals to radio, others. Okay, so this is how it shows to create radio button. So right now we are looking for the gender over here, but the problem is here we need to group these three input fields, these three input radio buttons under one group, so that at any point of time only one radio button is checked. So how we can group them? By using name attribute. So over here I have male, female and others over here, right? So you check this three buttons, I'm able to three radio buttons, I'm able to check all of them. But this should not be the case. So what we're going to do here, we will use the name attribute, and as part of this name attribute, I'll name it as gender. Make sure that the same name should be used for all the different radio buttons that come under this particular functionality, that is the gender. Okay, now you'll be able to select only one. Along with this, I would like to have couple more breaks, and then I would also want to have checkboxes here. So let's see how we can get checkboxes. To create checkbox, what you need to do is simply you say input type equals to checkbox. Okay, and this is how the checkbox comes, and I would say I agree with terms and conditions. This is one use case where we can use the checkbox. If they check it, then probably we can enable our button and then that button can be submitted. Now a few more things that we can add before this. I want to ask the user to upload their resume. So I would say input type equals to file. Okay, now I can add a label before this by using label tag. Resume, and then let's have a couple of breaks to this. Here we go. And then when the user clicks on choose file, it will ask you, okay, so from which file basically I need to choose. Okay, you can select any of the folder and select the file, so that gets uploaded. Okay, so right now let me get into HTML. I'm asking this notes to be uploaded, and here we go, and it got uploaded. Anyways, to receive this file, we need to have a server-side implementation to be done. Like over a period of time, I'm going to show you how we can do that. So the next step that I want to do here is, let us go and add a button, which is a submit button. So in this button, I would just call it as submit. So here comes the button. I would like to have this button to come after this checkbox. So here we go. So ideally, right, in any form, you would have the text field, or you'll have multi-text, and sometimes you'll also have a drop-down list. Let us create the drop-down list over here. So drop-down list is like you'll have multiple choices. From that, you can choose one. So we'll use select tag for it, and I would like to display a list of districts, or let's say list of states. From those states, the user can select one. So default, I want to have a state called Telangana. Let's have other options here. So Telangana, Andhra Pradesh, and let me also have other states like Tamil Nadu, Maharashtra, and so on. Okay. Now I'll also have a break after the select. Couple of breaks, I would say. Okay. Now the user can select whichever the state that he belongs to. So we have single selection here. If you want to have multi-selection, you can also have multi-selection. So sometimes the user could belong to two states. Okay. So multiple, then the user can select multiple here. Okay. Similar way with respect to file, if you want the user to upload multiple files, then you can specify multiple over here, so that the user can upload multiple files. So for our application, since we are dealing with e-commerce application, I don't want to have all these form fields. I just need only these three fields. So hence I'm going to remove the remaining fields over here. Okay. But this is how you can actually create different types of form fields related to a form in a web page. So let me remove other fields here. I also want to have the mobile number. So input size equals to 10, type equals to, I can specify number, so that I can enter number over here. Okay. So here you see I'm trying to enter text, but it is not allowing me. I would like to enter the number now. So 9988776655. That's the number. Okay. You can also limit it to 10 numbers. All validations we can do. Okay. You can use JavaScript and get the validations done. If you want to show some customizable messages, or if you want to use the predefined HTML validations, even you can do those validations. Okay, all right. I think we are good with understanding HTML forms, and in the next session, we will see how we can understand, how we can implement HTML tables. This video is sponsored by Vensa Digital. If you want to learn more real-time stuff, then you can reach out to them. If you have come till here, then that means you like my video tutorial. So please like, share, comment, and subscribe. Thank you.